Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, fellow deviants, welcome to RuckU News, Ramble, all that sort of stuff. I know I missed last week, and I apologise for that. That's because my cameraman there was away in New York, as you do, spending his time in strip bars. It's nice, isn't it? No pictures, no video, no nothing. Gratitude for you. Anyway, just looking at the site quickly, I see the Mole got a great story on Gavin Henson throwing money at people, and I see Sourdust, one of our esteemed members, has tried to poo-poo that story. Well, all I can say to you, Sourdusty, is it comes from a very, very good source. One of your fellow countrymen, current, so I think it's true. Saw a few other bits. England want to be treated fairly by referees. Speak to the Kiwis. At least they're not bleating that the noise put them off, which is possibly one of the most shocking stories to have come out of the England camp for many, many years. Other members, I see Rob's wife Kirsten is doing a charity walk, and good effort. There's a few of us who should be going on that, I have to admit. But no, that was my stomach, not my, I'm not being groping those. Okay, so good effort there. What other things have I seen this week? Oh, did anyone see that sickly picture of Rob Andrew and Gordon Brown? I wonder where Rob had got to. He's been hiding in 10 Downing Street in Gordy's pants. Shocking. Horrible photograph, but quite appropriate really to see the two of them together. Looking back, I know it's a while ago, France, Scotland. France weren't great, were they? But you have to say, played at Ireland away, played well then, and Scotland at home, bit of a hard one to get up for. Apologise to the Scots for that, but just being honest. And they just weren't sort of in great form, where they just did what they had to do. Scotland's record is not great against them, but I thought they were pretty gutsy. But I think the French probably just about scraped out of first gear. Ireland and Italy, pretty similar. Great win against the French. And they've got the English at Croke Park, and they've got Italy in between. It's a bit of a hard one to get up for, so to speak. I know you struggle with that, Swanee. Yeah, so they weren't really at their best. Quite feisty, wasn't it? It was a bit tasty. Nice early tackle. What was it, 42 seconds before a swinging arm comes in and takes out an Irishman. I quite enjoyed that first half. But so no, I wouldn't read too much into that. The Irish looking pretty good. And the Italians, interesting game against the Scots. Wales, England. Congratulations to the Welsh. Good win. They've taken a bit of a hammering actually after that game, which I'm quite surprised about. I thought they maintained their composure pretty well. I thought they were patient in defence and with the ball, which is more than England were. Yeah, they were a wee bit predictable in terms of their runners into Powell and Roberts, but Worsley sorted that out. But still, they didn't panic, and good win. From an English point of view, still a number of issues. As I said in this, I thought we looked pretty good with ball in hand, which seemed to be a bit of a shock. We picked Good because he's a tactical kicker. His tactical kicking has been poor. A polite word, poor. It's been shite, actually. At the posts and out of hand. But when he ran the ball, we looked far better. Looked quite dangerous. Still impressed with the back three. But be interesting to see what, if any, changes are made. Personally, I would make a few. Shame Lucy is not available. I would have him in the side. I'll bring Cipriani back on the bench. Whether you start with Good or Flo, I'm not too fussed. But I would have him there. I think it's about time we came back. Change the back row a wee bit. And I would bring Shaw in. Keep Kennedy. So I think that means I'll change the captain. But the Welsh note was good. I didn't go down, surprisingly, because I am a coward. So I stayed here. Watched it just over there. But because me and Wales. I remember going down there when I sort of finished university. So I was playing for England And in fact, I've been made captain I've been maybe captain for a year, and I went back down there with a few university mates. The Wales were playing Scotland, one of the crazy guys I was with, Scottish, so a few of us, so we went down drinking, and he knew this guy, little club just outside Cardiff, and he said, well, let's go for a beer there before the game. I said, yeah, great. And all their sort of under 12s came in from training, and obviously someone sort of said, oh, that's Will Carling over there, and so they asked if I would sign some autographs to the kids, which is quite funny because at 12 they can still look as though they really hate you, so they all filed up, and I was starting to sign, but it was names like Angor and Bledin and Kai and Emir and Hedwin. And so every time I'd sort of, we're going, how do you spell that? Yeah, Hedwin, oh, hi, how do you spell that? And it was getting quite boring, and this line was coming along, how do you spell that? And this little kid went, John, please. And I went, John, how do you spell that? And he gave me that look like, not only do I fucking hate you, but you're thick. You're English and you're thick. It was great, just looking down at him. You could just tell it, you could read it in his face. So we're away from the valleys, and now we're in Ireland. One of my favourite places. First game I captained over there. I played, and we just sort of won. But it wasn't really the game that was important. It was the aftermatch. And and those are two guys I played against way back in those days, were Paul Dean and Michael Kiernan, who were mad, and obviously decided the young kid was going to get it. So before the dinner, they put me in a corner, and we decided we had to drink triples. Apparently, for some reason, we had to drink triples because there was three of us, and it was a tradition in Ireland. If there was three of us drinking, it had to be triples. I think I was the only one who had triples. Well, Kiernan did, but only found that out later. So we had about 4 triples before we went in for dinner. And I carried on drinking and stood up to make my speech and started it with ladies and gentlemen. Along those lines, probably wasn't that understandable, which was popular because the lady had never, ever, ever, ever been anywhere near the hotel, let alone in the dinner. So there was a stunned silence. I sat down during my own speech because I'd sort of lost the will to live, I think, along with everyone else. And then their captain stood up, and I stood up in the middle of his and carried mine on, which was good. But all I remember is, as I slumped back down, was seeing Michael Kiernan being stretchered out from his table. He collapsed at the table, and I hadn't noticed that, even though he was right in front of me. And they had to stretcher him out. He had passed out, but he awoke as they put him on this, literally, sort of plank. And his uncle, who was the president of the Irish, I think it was his uncle, yeah, president of the Irish Rugby. And on the way out, he said, uncle, you bastard, you can't even fucking get it off anymore. Which was a popular line, really, as he was stretching out this dinner. But it was a good evening, although I did get a severe bollocking. The first, I think, because I only captained about 3 games from the rugby union. So it was the beginning of the end for me in Ireland. And just hoping that, fingers crossed, this week it won't be the beginning of the end for the English. I know I'm biased, but good luck to us. See you next week.